Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here.
Peace, Oakland. This is your host, Seneca Scott. Today is Monday, July 15th. Today we're really busy. We had a few people who were scheduled to interview who were sick, so we had to change the original topic. So we're going to have a quick episode today about homelessness, part one. We're going to go through Oakland's Encampment Management Policy, what it is, what it was meant to do when it was passed in October of 2020, where we're at today in homelessness in Oakland, and then we're going to review a few of my weekly walk videos just so you can kind of explore Oakland with me to see just how intense our homeless crisis has been here in the town. Oakland's Encampment Management Policy was passed in October 2020, conveniently just a month before the 2022 election, and it was meant to address Oakland's unhoused crisis. It provided a list of do's and don'ts for public camping, effectively making it illegal to pitch a tent or camp in Oakland 50 feet from schools, parks, residences, or critical infrastructure. It was passed unanimously by Oakland City Council. It has never properly been followed. The EMP has pretty much been a sham. It was put there as a performative measure to act like these city council people were going to actually really do something to address our unhoused crisis. Since then, Oakland has averaged 3 fires a day in homeless encampments alone, usually vehicles. We've held that average now for over 2 years, which again adds to a sordid history of environmental racism and classism, as these fires frequently impact communities of color or working class communities. Oakland's Encampment Management Policy. Let's take a look at it. October 20th, 2020. Remember, this is right in election season, where the number one issue during the 2020 election was homelessness, not crime. We actually sort of had a handle on our crime problem then. It was homelessness. And at the time, Oakland had seen an increase of 47% rise in homelessness between 2017 and 2019. Notice we saw a 9% rise in homelessness recently, but this is back 4 years ago when we're just starting to see this population explode and take a fundamental change from being mostly Black people, men at that, who went homeless in neighborhoods they grew up in, and they were replaced with many white drug tourists, people who did not leave in Oakland, who came here for relaxed policies on drug encampment and the fact that we were not able to actually abate any of these encampments due to in my opinion, lack of political will. But other people may use the Supreme Court decision. But we're going to get into that because the Supreme Court decision ended last month, effectively meaning that the number one excuse that the city of Oakland has been given us for not cleaning up these encampments is the fact that they could not legally, and now they can. We have reading here. Whereas the number of tent and vehicle encampments tracked in Oakland currently exceeds 140, we are over 700 now, with over half of these encampments considered significant in size. All right, a bunch of whereas. One thing important to notice is that fires are mentioned several times. Fires, in particularly, are mentioned several times in this EMP as a particular area of danger and something that we needed to address. Look here who you have. Unanimous. Now, Carol Fife had not been elected yet, so she did not vote on this EMP. It was her then council member for District 3, Lynette Gibson McElhaney, who voted, but she did vote for it. Okay. Now we're going to go down to public safety consideration. This is an important part here, I think, that we need to address. I want to look back on this because we made this decision in 2020, and I want you to ask yourself, has Oakland followed any of this? Or have we just ignored this EMP? I mean, no one even talks about the encampment management policy anymore, but Shintile voted on it. As you call, Mayor Shintile, alleged Mayor Shintile voted on it. So it's important to distinguish between public safety emergencies and public safety factors. Oh, I don't want to highlight this because it's harder for you to read, but follow along here. To determine the appropriate encampment intervention, public safety emergencies require a fire, the first word they mention, fire, medical, and or police response shall be reported to 911. What 911? And those departments shall respond according with the ordinance, codes, statutes, or regulations under which they operate, and are authorized to enforce. The statute of being unsheltered does not create immunity from generally forged state codes and local ordinances. That is a lie. We're going to be seeing some videos in a few minutes that just shows you how shocking Oakland's homeless encampment crisis really is and how this policy has been virtually ignored. Let's get more into what the actual policy says. Keep in mind, this is an encampment management policy. Management, meaning it actually makes public camping legal, but provides a list of do's and don'ts for how you're supposed to do it. So for anyone who says it makes homelessness illegal, that's a flat out lie. It divides the city between low sensitive and high sensitive areas. High sensitive areas means that you cannot camp there. So here we go. High sensitive are formally designated by city council and can include parks, particularly those with playground structures or tot lot. Keep that in mind. We're going to go through several parks, protected waterways, and other public land. High sensitive areas are locations where the health and safety impacts of homeless encampment are heightened due to the potential degradation of critical infrastructure, restriction of public amenities or services, or significant obstruction to residences, businesses, emergency routes, and a right of way. Just look at this for a second. Please go back and read the encampment management policy and continue to ask the city of Oakland why they're not following it. If you recall, myself and my nonprofit Neighbors Together Oakland filed a lawsuit in the year 2021 for the city's failure to follow this policy. We filed a writ of mandamus because we didn't want to sue ourselves for money. That's a fancy way of saying we just wanted the law followed. Oakland was able to escape this lawsuit by claiming that they had no mandatory duty to follow their own laws, and the courts backed it up. We're going to have another episode where we deep dive into this, but let me move through this a little bit quicker, just so you can see what the rules really are in Oakland and what we're really supposed to be doing here in terms of our homelessness. You're not supposed to have encampment. If you read here, adoption of this policy establishes the following public property locations as high sensitive: all vehicle lanes, 150 feet of schools, 50 feet of protected waterways, 50 feet of a residence, 50 feet of a retail business or the main entrance to a business or any places of worship, 50 feet of city parks and public land or playgrounds, and areas directly adjacent to emergency shelter intervention. Low sensitive areas. Now, low sensitive means that you are allowed to camp there. That means any of these places that you see here on this list. One side of the street, not both, shall not impede, let me undelete that. Vehicle or pedestrian traffic shall not impede ADA access. I mean, every single one of these is violated. Emergency ingress, compliance with applicable and generally enforced state codes and local ordinances. The footprint shall not exceed 12 by 12 square feet per person. No areas directly to a vehicle. No gray or black water dumping. No electrical or water taps. This is a joke. No storage of tires, gasoline, generators, or propane tanks. And tents and structures to maintain a distance not less than 6 feet from each other. I want you to remember this when we're looking through these videos. How many of these violations happen in every single encampment in the city of Oakland? So I encourage you to read this. It's only 8 pages. Um, It has a lot of good information here if you're interested in knowing exactly what Oakland is supposed to follow. Now, as you recall, recently there was a major Supreme Court decision with Grants Pass that overturned the previous rule that you were not able to abate an encampment unless you had offers of shelter for someone. What this meant is that people were able to move into your city for drug tourism and demand housing, even though there were people there for generations who have been adversely affected by the area's issues. In Oakland, I took particularly offense to this because, again, the number one demographic of homeless were Black men prior to 2018. Now we have an influx of drug tourism, especially after 2020. One more thing to mention is that Oakland's homelessness doubled during the eviction moratorium from the year 2020 to the year 2023. If the eviction moratorium was put in place to stop the rise of homelessness, how do we explain the doubling of homeless if no one was able to be evicted due to non-payment of rent? The explanation is simply drug tourism. Look at this map. Emeryville and Oakland are decreasing. Berkeley had a big homeless crisis. You need to see the homeless tents. They look like Oakland. And even Berkeley started cleaning that stuff up. Even Berkeley was like, no. This is what we're not going to do. We're not going to do this anymore. But Oakland, our total climbed 9%. 9% in a 2-year span after increasing 24% from 2020 to 2022. I thought it doubled, but maybe I stand corrected. And despite the closure of the Wood Street encampment, we continue to play a game, whack-a-mole. You close down one encampment, it pops up somewhere else. Why is that happening? Why is this happening? Now we're going to take a walk with me through some of these Oakland homeless encampments. Now, as many of you know, I've been walking through with a little selfie zone to take a picture of me to show you just how it is to walk and be immersed in this encampment. And so I have a lot of them up on my YouTube page on Gotham, Oakland, under our weekly walk session. Please take a deeper dive there. But let's go through and look at a few of these weekly walks to see, is the encampment management policy being followed? Okay, first we have here walk over on High Street. Look at that. Now, remember when that food truck was stolen? They found that food truck right in the middle of this encampment, hours after it was stolen. If you look at this overhead shot right here, just look at this shot. We see a huge generator. Look at that generator to the left over here. Let me go back. Sorry about that. Okay, if you look to the left of your screen, you see a pickup truck with the door open. Look directly to the left. There's a huge industrial generator. I mean, very expensive, worth tens of thousands of dollars. That thing can power several city blocks. What's it doing inside of that homeless encampment? There are also like $500,000 RVs here. This is probably the scariest walk we took. We were approached several times and asked to stop filming by people who were residences inside of this camp, which serves as a chop shop. Look at that. Right by the freeway. Insane. We're going to scroll through. That was High Street. I think we saw most of it. It gets a little crazy, but then we loop around back. It's bad. Song about zombie. Great song if you ever heard it from the Cranberries. Okay, let's go to the next one, the favela. This one right here is Mickey Fortunato Bash's district. This may be one of the, because it's from the freeway when you enter Oakland, lots of people see this.
talking about a revolution sounds.
This is a bad one.
Don't you know? Talking about
I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. All right. Look at this. These are all businesses directly across the street. These businesses are directly across the street. You see several people tapping into power. These are not 12 feet from each other. They're right next to the vehicles. There are propane tanks everywhere. Every single encampment management policy rule is being broken in this video. And as you see, there's massive amounts of trash. They're not being managed. No one deserves to live like this. This is not compassionate to allow someone to live like this. Absolutely not. When the fast forward, here's my favorite part. Look at that. Decolonize. Decolonize. How come people who virtue signal the most actually have the least to offer? Anyway, this video kind of goes on down here like that. Insane. Insane. All right. Oh, hold on. We're not done yet. We're going to look at a few more. So let me tell you. Here's a good one. This is on Hagenbipper Road. As you can see, that water, they cleaned this one up recently. This may be one of the only ones that you're seeing here that was cleaned up. Oh, this is back when the In-N-Out was open. Forley's, Wingstop, Starbucks gone, In-N-Out gone. Rest in peace, In-N-Out. Black Bear Diner, rest in peace, Black Bear Diner. And that Denny's got tagged up that night. Like literally the same night they put these things up, that Denny's got tagged crazy. Look at this. Look at this. This is all by the waterway. Remember they were talking about protected waterways? Oakland was facing getting sued by the county, which is finally what led for them to clean up on Hagenbipper Road, Hagenbipper Road. This is how you come into the city. Look at this. Insane. Insane. All right, let's check out another one. Here's Lake Merritt. How many roads must a man walk down? Love that song. Beautiful Lake Merritt. This should be the crown jewel of Oakland. We can't even keep it clean. Graffiti tagging over the bridge. Look at this. Look at this. Come on, man. This is absolutely insane. You see that there's fire marks all under this bridge, right? You see fire right there. You see burn marks over and over. And it's just completely obstructed. This estuary was a very expensive, I believe, $100 million renovation that was meant for people to be able to walk around and play, including this park we're about to see right here. Remember they said no parks? This is the car right up in there. Look at this. This is the park. This is a children's playground. Hold on, let me so you can see it. There's a slide right there. There's a children's playground. What are we doing, Oakland? This is shameful. Again, under the bridge, you see how burnt up it is? It's caught fire all the way underneath there. Look at this dude. Able-bodied young man. Another able-bodied young man. The whole underneath, it all has caught in fire. The city does nothing. And what do? We walk around it. We pass each other. We act like it's not happening. All right, moving on. Oh, here's this one right here. Remember they said they cleaned up Wood Street? Well, Wood Street's coming back. Boy, is it coming back. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, here's the good part right here. I know a lot of you ask me, is it safe when I do this? Not really. We've had some close calls, including right here. I had to end it short because somebody had to come and take my drone. Or maybe that wasn't this one. But usually I have someone right behind me. But in that case, there was no one there because they couldn't put a car in, and I had to just get it and kind of get out real quick. But look at Wood Street. You see that building right there? That building is no more. That building burned down 2 weeks ago. It's completely gone. I got some drone shots you can watch soon. But yeah, that video is that building right there to the left with the big S on it. That building burned down. It's completely gone. For those of you who don't know, this is in the lower bottoms of West Oakland, right by the Target in Emeryville. So it's only a matter of time for this Target in Emeryville closed down. Now let's move on. Oh, here goes. This is a crazy one. I filmed this on Martin Luther King Day.
Believe in yourself and believe that you're somebody. As I said to a group last night, nobody else can do this for us. No document can do this for us. No Lincolnian Emancipation Proclamation can do this for us. No Kennysonian or Johnsonian Civil Rights Bill can do this for us. If the Negro is to be free, he must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with the pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. Don't let anybody take your manhood.
Don't let anybody take your manhood. Oakland is in sore need of men. Don't let anybody take your manhood. A lot of people out there didn't listen. A lot of people had their manhood took by these progressives. Sabir Lockett, I'm talking to you. We're going to get into you later. And that's really sad. I don't know about you, but when I see those videos, it's shocking. When I show those videos to people in other parts of the country, it's shocking. Our encampment management policy has been ignored. These progressives don't care about the homeless. If they did, they wouldn't allow them to die with overdoses like that in the squalor in these encampments. They wouldn't allow the child prostitution and human trafficking that goes on in these encampments. They wouldn't allow these frequent fires that are poisoning our lungs to continue at a rate of 3 times a day in these encampments. These are nihilist narcissists who are controlling our city. They don't care about a damn thing but themselves and their pocketbook. To allow them to continue to virtue signal the way that they are when our city looks like what we just saw, we got to blame ourselves. We got to blame ourselves. Why would you put up with anyone who allows your city to deteriorate like this? Keep in mind, Berkeley don't look like that. Emeryville doesn't look like this. San Leandro doesn't look like this. Alameda doesn't look like this. El Cerrito doesn't look like this. Albany doesn't look like this. Union City doesn't look like this. Fremont doesn't look like this. Hayward doesn't look like this. San Ramon doesn't look like this. But Oakland does. There's something dark and disturbing happening in Oakland City Hall. We've got to get these people out of here. They've got to go. How can you watch what we just watched right now, allow these people to virtue signal the way that they have by spending tens of millions of dollars, if not over $100 million in taxpayers' money in the past 5 years alone to allegedly solve these issues, and they get worse? There's a reason for it. I'm going to go into it with part 2 of this episode with exactly what is behind the nonprofit industrial complex grift in Oakland. Who is responsible? Who are these white activists who parachuted into Oakland, who went around telling the Black inhabitants, people who are from here, not to take shelter, not to take offers of help? Who was the elected councilwomen who illegally, I'll add, coordinated with these activists, telling them to hold out for the army base, telling them to hold out for something better that never came? There are actual people, and those people passed policies or ignored policies like our encampment management policy. And those people who we elected are responsible. Now, we're going to ask ourselves this election season, are we going to take any more excuses for the conditions of our streets and the way that they look right now? Because I'm not. I'm working every day to make sure that we're waking people up in Oakland. Part 2, we're going to talk about the nonprofit homeless grift. We're going to name names. We're going to go through the actual numbers and dollars, the organizations that are responsible. We're going to make some sense of exactly what's going on in Oakland. And most importantly, how can we climb out of this hole? How can we fix this problem and make sure that people who are unhoused actually can get back to health, can get their addictions treated, can get their basic needs met? What about people who are getting out of jail, making sure that they have what they need so they don't end up right on the street because they didn't have something as simple as an ID? There are easy fixes to some of these things, and there are some hard solutions as well. It's going to require us to triage. Triage is not a comfortable conversation to have. Triage means that you're going to have to make hard decisions about who lives and who dies. That's what real leadership does in a time of crisis. You don't sit there and let people die in their waste. You don't sit there and let people die getting burnt up in these RVs. You don't sit there and let children be pimped in these RVs. We have encampments that people are seeing these RVs shaking as young people are raped inside of it. That doesn't make me mad. Then I don't know what to tell you. Carol Fife's got to go. Nikki Fortunato Bass has got to go. Most of what you saw were in those districts. District 2 and in District 3. Treva Reed, a lot of this is in your District 2, District 7. What are you going to do about it? We're all going to have these questions this election season, and I hope you have some answers for the people. As always, this is your host, Seneca Scott, signing out. God bless you. Be safe in these streets of Gotham, Oakland. We're going to get the city back on track, but only if you believe and you do your job in this November election. Peace.
Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here.